Arc came out like a week ago. It was a pretty interesting series, and I already did a review. So
And what's ironic about it is he has a 2015 NTSJW kind of rent Sona type deal going on, and it's badly pixelated and bumping across the background and shit.
check it out. But this video is specifically about one scene that probably killed this entire series for me.
Why?
Hit that intro.
Why did it kill? Why would it kill? Why would it kill the show for you? It doesn't fucking matter, dude. Like, well, whatever. We actually get to the content.
So you probably know what scene I'm talking about.
What scene are
and
you
if you
talking
don't
about?
know, here is the clip.
This is Mandroid's lair, and these pieces represent all of us.
Oh, may I be the bobblehead?
Of course. Morgan, can you switch,
Nightshade's pronouns are they, them.
He or she just doesn't fit who I am.
My apologies. Please switch their piece.
Yeah.
I smiled when that happened because although I'm not non-binary myself, I have a lot of non-binary friends and what have you. And the thing about people like this is what they don't realize. Kids down to even elementary school, middle school, and high school that are watching these cartoons and shows, or even some of the adults, are non-binary themselves. These people really exist, and it's good to see representation of these people in media. It's not, and here's to say, like, should we just erase all other, like, people besides straight white people from media and just have the media just be like, oh, everybody's straight, everybody is, him and her, even though the knowledge of these people have advanced significantly over the past, especially 5 years, as they've gained this visibility of these people that feel that they don't fit the gender binary come more and more out in the open. We should be ignorant to them and pretend like they don't exist. Like that, I don't think we should go that route. I feel like if these people exist, we should include them in different forms of media so these kids can have somebody they can look up to and somebody that they can feel like that they matter. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the characters on this show being black, or even going back to shows like Static Shock and stuff like that. That's as close as I can get. Seeing, a black superhero or or female superhero or something like that, or even some nowadays the gay superheroes and stuff like that can help a lot of people understand, like, hey, these type of people exist in these media. It's okay to live your life this way. It's okay to be this way. You don't have nothing to be ashamed of or anything to be embarrassed about.
I'm talking about the they them thing. And I know this could be a sensitive topic, so if you don't want to get your feelings hurt or you don't want me to talk about politics, you can just leave without typing it.
It's only one person here whose feelings is hurt, and that's yours. Your feelings are hurt for no fucking reason. It was a second. They didn't even bring it up again. He's acting like the entire show was them saying, hey, call me they, them, like every other fucking line. It was one scene towards the end of the fucking episode, and it doesn't matter. Because like I said, these people really exist in real life, and seeing them have representation in media is nothing but a net positive good thing. The only way you could be mad about this shit is if in some way or another you're bigoted against these people, or you think that you have a better argument than the numerous studies shown in sociology, professors and students that have a better analysis on these topics than you have. You just think that some way or another you have a better outlook on these people's existence than all the other scientists and researchers that have opinions on this topic.
Any shit in the comments, but if you do want to hear my arguments, here they are. So of course the non-binary thing is such a weird thing to discuss, because do I start with the real life thing, non-binary, or in the Transformers universe, and why it doesn't work in both places? But let's start with the real life thing. So the non-binary thing in the real life is described as someone who doesn't feel as a boy or a girl. Now, here is where my thoughts came into play. And to be honest, like 20 years ago, this would be an objective fact, not an opinion.
Oh my fucking god. Even 20 years ago, it just wasn't getting talked about a lot because these people didn't have the amount of visibility that they have today. You see what we're saying about these people? Number one, speaking and advocating for their rights themselves. And number two, being included in media helps these people make their presence known. So people like you don't get to say, oh, 20 years ago, these people didn't exist, when they've existed this whole time alongside the regular gender spectrum, but they were never discussed, talked about.
But
And oh yeah,
listen,
the reason why people like you bring them up a lot of the time, I'm not trying to call you a bigot, but a lot of the time it's bigotry. Not to mention, after meeting non-binary people in real life, and actually hanging out with some of these people, you can actually see, like, I understand this person can be feminine yet masculine, and it's just as simple as that. And like, I don't see why people take the time out of their day to go around just questioning every little thing about how other people live their lives and what have you.
just listen. So, the terms boy, man, and male, also girl, female, or woman, are coming from the genitalia and the chromosomes of.
That is a really simple-minded way of looking at gender dysphoria and how people feels with their gender identification. This is another case of somebody not knowing the difference between sex and gender. Somebody can be sex female at birth, but they can grow up to become either a man or non-binary. Gender identification is completely different from the sex binary. So this argument that this person is laying out has been pumped out for the past almost 10 years by every single anti-SJW YouTuber, every single like Republican, and up to your white nationalists and all these motherfuckers. And it's the same answer every time, is that sex is different than gender.
A human, not what's in their head. You can be a boy with a
Yes, it is.
pee-pee,
Yes, it is
and
what's in your
you
head.
can, like,
Because you want to know something that people like this really need to fucking get, is that when you don't, respect people's gender identifications, and they're not allowed to live their lives in the way that they want to because society has a lean against these people often wind up committing suicide. And I'm not gonna, I'm not blaming this person directly for it, but I'm just saying, when people can't live their lives the way that they honestly feel, like if a person that was born a woman or female wants to become a man and they're not allowed to do that, they're more likely to slip in depression. They're more likely to have, trouble socializing and functioning in real life. And the same can be said the other way, where it's like, male to female. This person feels like a woman. They want to wear dresses. They want to, do their makeup, or, have a more feminine role in society. When these people are not allowed to do that, they wind up committing suicide. Not every time, but a good amount of the time. And it's to be known that these people, freedoms to do what they want with their body, if it's the way that they're feeling, should not be restricted by you. And if they regret it or not, is not up to anybody to say. It's up to them to decide their own fate and throughout their own lives.
like princesses or pink, I guess. But that doesn't make you a girl. And of course, the opposite. You could be a girl with a girl part and still like trucks and.
That is not what trans people are, and that's not how being trans works. Being trans, and like I said, I know trans people. It goes far beyond just wanting to do things that the opposite sex likes. It's men that have painted their fingernails before. It's women that have played in the dirt with trucks. But when they grow up, they wind up being, normal men and women that are partaking in their traditional gender roles in society. So it's not about that. It's about gender dysphoria that causes these people to identify differently from the sex that they were born as. And like I said, gender dysphoria is a subject that, it would take too long to go into all the research and discuss just right now for this 10-minute video of this weird anti-SJW bullshit. But just know that many scientists have credited this as being a valid reason for why a lot of these people want to switch gender. And like I said, when they don't do it a lot of the times, they wind up dealing with other problems like anxiety, depression, up to the point of suicide. So again, it's far beyond what they do as a child. It's more about the chemical imbalances in their head.
Transformers. That's fine. So by this logic, the non-binary people in real life don't have typical male or female parts or chromosomes. But as we all
They
know,
never said that. No non-binary person says that. Every non-binary person realizes that they were born a male or a female, but the way that they dress themselves and the way that they take on gender roles in society is completely different from the normal binary. If you actually like went outside and met some people, you know that.
this type of human has never existed in the history of humanity.
Yes, they have actually. Many people from Africans to Native Americans have identified people that were not only trans but that fit the roles of both males and females. Not to mention, there's people till this day that are born intersex with both female characteristics and male characteristics. So this is just a pointless lie again.
Will probably never exist. Now, when it comes to
They
Transformers,
do exist, and it's much more complicated than that.
it's a bit more strange to figure this out because
No, it's not, because you're
people
gonna make
will
it
always
worse.
say Transformers
You're gonna make it
are
worse.
genderless because they're machines. And this is where my personal logic comes into play because
My
they are
personal
machines.
logic comes into face. Do you think Optimus Prime has a dick or something? What do you mean by that? These robotic toys on TV are giving gender arbitrarily. They can be any gender that the storyboarders and the creative team wants them to be. I think in his video, he was bitching about a female Skywarp, even though Skywarp doesn't have to be a male. Skywarp being a female didn't change the story. She was still a fierce warrior. I like the fact that she had the actual warping, ability and stuff like that, so she can warp around the battlefield. So this is just bunk bullshit. Like these are toy genderless toy robots. They don't look. How about this? They don't have to have a gender. Even if you're a kid playing with Transformers toys, you can have a Transformer be a male or a female. It doesn't matter because they are not necessarily object. I still feel like they are sentient beings, but when you're creating these characters, it's arbitrary for them to be one gender or another. You can have, female Ironhides or, even like female Megatrons or, like a male Elita 1. Like you can do anything you want with these characters, and it really doesn't make the difference one way or another because it's still the same character. It's going to look different. The design might be a little more feminine, but it doesn't matter. Another good example is Strongarm. Strongarm and Energon was a Jeep Omnicon, and he was a male. But in Transformers Robots in the Sky 2015, the name Strongarm was reassigned to a female Autobot. So it doesn't matter, whatever gender these characters are, these toys at the end of the day doesn't matter, and because it won't change the story and it won't really affect the sales of the toy. Other Transformers even got their genders changed and stuff like that over the years, like Clobber from Lugnut in Cyberverse from Animated, or what about let me see, I think Nova Storm. Yeah, Nova Storm. I think Nova Storm started out in G1 as a male, but is now recognized as a female more often. In the previous show, Acid Storm, people thought Acid Storm was non-binary because they had that Transformer, that Decepticon Seeker, have sometimes male attributes and sometimes female attributes. So again, it's arbitrary. These characters can be whatever the showrunners want them to be at any time. Some characters ain't gonna get changed, like Optimus Megatron or something like that. But characters to the side, like Skywarp or somebody, it's more flexible that way. Because like I said, they're fucking toy robots. They don't have to be. It won't change the story whether they're one gender or another, or even if they don't have a gender at all.
because they aren't single-celled organisms, which means that they have sexes, male and female. Optimus Prime is clearly male and RC is clearly female, and there is nothing wrong
And they don't have to be though.
with that. But hey, these are my personal thoughts on the Transformers.
And you're wrong about the Transformers, and you're wrong about the real world gender binary too.
Some people will say, oh yeah, they are genderless, and yeah, sure, But if they are,
I wouldn't say
why
they're genderless. It's that the gender can arbitrarily be assigned as the showrunners and toy designers feel.
do the pronouns matter? Like, if they're genderless, why not every Cybertronian is they? Or wait, they is multiple people. So I guess the gender neutral pronoun would be it. Now, is it dehumanizing? Of course it is. But when you play the logic of the dumb people, you gotta be dumb too. Also, a comment
You
from
are dumb. Nobody ever said that.
the last Earthspark review. Someone said that, oh, the people are choosing the pronouns they're going to use and they're comfortable with. Let me ask you this. Do I have my personal adjectives?
Yes, you fucking do. Every fucking living, bro. I'm not gonna say every living thing. Every living fucking human on Earth has their own fucking pronoun preference. I have them, he, him. You have them, he, him. You wouldn't like it when somebody came up to you and calls you they or she or her or it. You wouldn't like that shit. Every human being has them. Males, females, and non-binary people, trans people, everybody fucking has them. So I don't understand, what are you saying here? And you're smugly going off talking about some, ha, you gotta play the logic of the dumb people. Well, you're the fucking dumb person.
If not, can I make up ones? Because like, let's see. So you're
Fine, make them up. See if we give a fuck.
comfortable with the pronouns they, them. Let's say that I am comfortable with the adjectives handsome and brilliant. So yeah, every time you talk to me, you gotta describe me as handsome.
No, I think I'll describe you as fucking moron. Because you're speaking about stuff that you don't get it.
Make up your own pronouns.
You're making up your own logic to discriminate against less than like 1% of the fucking population over something that you don't understand. And now you're trying to take your misunderstandings and your misinterpretations of how the world works out on everybody else like it's our fucking fault. Like I said again, not non-binary myself, but I identify by the pronouns he, him. And when somebody wants them changed, they just ask people to call them something different. It's fucking easy. It's just like they did in an 8-second clip that you showed at the fucking beginning. And there's so many people, like I said, I have non-binary friends. They say, don't call me she, call me they, them. It's not difficult. It's not a difficult concept to understand.
And say, oh, you gotta use these or it's disrespectful.
It
Bitch,
kind of is. You wouldn't like it if somebody came up to you calling you she and her. It really is. I wouldn't want nobody calling me no goddamn woman. I would prefer them to call me they, them, or he, or him. Like any fucking thing else. Don't fucking call me no goddamn woman. It is disrespectful to not call people by their preferred pronouns. Because you're dehumanizing them and invalidating their gender identity for no fucking reason. Well, the real reason is because probably, as I pry deeper into this video, is because you're fucking bigoted and you think that you heard like a few stupid conservative arguments from like PragerU or wherever else you got these dumbass arguments from, and you smugly go outside just disrespecting people for no reason. And ironically, people like you, and I hate to throw in a shot like this, be all like, why can't I find a girlfriend when you treat everybody like shit and you don't respect anybody?
be brilliant. If you don't, that's disrespectful. Fuck off. Now, some were saying in the Earthspark review that this one scene didn't make
Not to mention the fact that you can legally have your pronouns changed. If you go get a sex reassignment surgery or, you know, go into the fucking, and I done seen trans people at the fucking, what do you call it in Michigan? Because it's not the DMV in Michigan. It's the, what do you call that shit where you go get your driver's license from? Secretary of State. When you go to the Secretary of State, sometimes it's trans people that are getting their gender identity changed. You legally can be reassigned your gender as well. So you're saying nothing here. Not to mention, like I said, all the science and research that you can do looking at things like gender dysphoria and how it can affect people's mental health if they don't go under these gender and or sexual reassignments. So you think I'm just going to listen to you saying, ha, you can't do it, ha, you can't do it, ha, you can't do it, and your stupid fucking argument talking about, not to mention it is actual people out there that prefer to be called it's and shit like that. Like, your arguments just don't make fucking sense, and it come from complete conjecture or bigotry.
We spoke, and I have to disagree because one scene, two sentences, or even a character in the background does make a series woke, which is
No, it
make or
fucking
break.
does not. No, it does not make it woke. Actually, I agree with that shit. Because number one, you acting like, don't get me wrong, this show does have a lot of woke shit, like about Thrash, and I think episode 3 was saying he didn't want to be a part of a family that judged somebody by how they look. Hello, racism. But anyway, it doesn't make it woke. It just makes it socially aware for a split second about the world around the show. And that's fucking it. It's not a bad thing for a show to be socially aware about what's going on. And you acting like the show, you know, like this guy, I hope he never watches the original X-Men or X-Men Evolution. I hope that, you know, you never read any Captain America comics. I hope you never read any, like, older Batman comics and shit like that. There's been so many, you know, comic book superhero shows and sci-fi shows, you know, from Star Trek to Star Wars. And we can go talk about, like, Dragon Ball Z and Frieza and shit like that, being a colonist and shit like that. And, you know, Goku overcoming his oppressor and shit. There's been so much media that has spoken about things like racism, sexism, homophobia, poverty, or discrimination. And I hope you never come across those, because they're going to hurt your feelings.
For most fans. Also, obviously, like, huge respect to the superiority, my community. They came out and protected me in the comments. Like, huge respect to the ones that have the courage and the balls to come out and say, like, this
And say what?
shit is like shit, and it's like absolute lunacy. And George is right.
No, those are right-wing bigots or ignorant people coming out to defend your opinions because they have the same opinion. I've been seeing on Instagram and in other Discord servers, everybody thinks you're a fucking moron. Nobody agrees with anything that you said. You're one of the people that should have kept politics to yourself, and you should keep them to yourself in this video. But instead, we gotta listen to you whine about a 2-second line about somebody saying, call me they, them. And then you're trying to push your bitch conservative beliefs on people, completely ignoring the sciences of how gender dysphoria works. So you can point the finger at somebody in an attempt to call them dumb.
And yeah, like, thank you so much. I will continue to put out my thoughts and opinions even if nobody wants to hear them, because if you don't want to hear them, like, just keep the video.
It's not that I don't want to hear them. I don't want you reinforcing bigotry, because there's a lot of, especially young men going around, right? A lot of these young men can be molded to have foul, fucked up political opinions about people like you. So I'm watching this video, and a lot of people are calling you out to stop your influence. Nobody wants to live in a world or a community where, because the thing that this motherfucker don't get, man, with this shitty ass rent Sona, is that I'm sure there are non-binary Transformers fans. There's Transformers fans and shit like that. So this is complete fucking nonsense, bro. Not everybody in the community of Transformers agrees with you. Those are people who have right-wing beliefs that went with what you were saying, or people that don't understand the concepts, which is why I got to make this video and explain them anyway, because I don't want them going off your bullshit conjecture.
I'm based as fuck. I won't turn out the
You are
comments
not
because-
based. You're a fucking idiot. Stop patting yourself on the back. You went on a 3 to 4 minute screed about concepts that you don't have no grasp on.
because, you know, the comments just bring you more views, and I like that because views are equal to subscribers, and I'm searching for more Transformers fans with brains. Like,
So what are you gonna do? Start grifting anti-SJW propaganda?
come on, for you, my based people, it's really important because this is like huge for Transformers. This is this is the wokest thing Transformers.
It don't fucking matter. Why does it offend you so fucking much that there are people that exist, and there was a 2-second fucking scene in Transformers where the person said, call me they, them. I have non-binary friends. I know the science behind gender dysphoria and people that are non-binary that you can fucking look up. I can send you some research on it. But instead of researching it, you want to go off your reactionary prejudices. And then you wonder why people don't like you. And you think the few people that do believe you, which are either kids or adults that is too late for, you are like completely being one-sided on a topic and, you know, echo chambering like a motherfucker right now.
Is done ever, and we don't count the IDW comics because they're like a small part of the Transformers franchise, and yeah, they had their transgenders and homos and shit, but
yeah, this dude's a clear like right-wing bigoted piece of shit. Yeah. I was letting him slide at first, thinking that maybe he's somebody that just doesn't understand and stuff like that. But after referring to, like, you know, a few gay characters, just like, you know, that like, you know, that kind of slur, this dude is clearly a piece of shit. Probably a racist too from the comments in his last video.
It's like on the next level because it's
a 2-second clip.
Global new series on Paramount Plus by Nickelodeon, and it shows you basically the future of the Transformers moving forward, which is
nothing. It shows nothing. That is going to be occasionally gender swapped characters and non-binary. It doesn't fucking matter. It really the fuck doesn't. Like, dude, it was 3 seconds of somebody saying, call me they, them. And you're acting like the fucking trailer did, the fucking show did a Martin Luther King documentary or something. Or took you to fucking, what was the riot in New York City that started gay pride? I forget the name of it right now. But yeah, like, it wasn't that fucking serious. You're making it more serious than it really is because you're bigoted.
This, and you know, as I'm recording this, I am getting comments from the Earthspark review, which I released like 2 hours ago. People are still saying, "Oh, George is triggered by a series for kids." No. Listen, I am triggered because
you sound pretty triggered to me.
They are putting they, them pronouns, non-binary shit in a series for kids. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean because it's non-binary kids out there that can use some role models.
For kids. Like for my fucking 10-year-old brother. He's going to sit next to me and I have to explain to him what are non-binary people. And I
you could just tell him the truth and you could just tell him real quick, oh, it's people that don't identify as male or female. That's what non-binary is. Is that hard to do? But you're thinking of, you're going to have to go into, oh, it's all these SJWs just believe in whatever they want and go, you know, through all your bigoted bullshit, your closet of like ignorant ass homophobia and sell all that shit to your younger brother when you can just tell them that it's people that feel they don't fit the normal gender binary. Or just say it's people, like if I was talking to a 10-year-old and they asked me what non-binary is, I would just tell them like, it's someone who doesn't fit the gender binary. They don't identify as, you know, male or female or boy or girl. So just call them, you know, they or them. And it's really that simple. It's not that hard to explain that shit. And it's not a hard concept to grasp in your mind. Unless you're bigoted and you are mad that the world is moving on from the old like views of sex binary.
I even don't know. It's something made up. It's something that doesn't exist. And
it does exist. It's so much research on this topic that you can just simply fucking Google. You can go read Wikipedia right fucking now and see all the fucking citations at the bottom of the scientists and sociologists and doctors that research both gender dysphoria and intersex people and people that identify as non-binary, and see the consequences of these people not being allowed to express themselves accordingly. So these people exist. This idea of people not identifying with one gender or the other is real. You're the one that's denying science and reality.
I personally think the Transformers community aren't talking about this enough. Because the only...
Because it doesn't fucking matter. That's why nobody fucking cares. You see, in those episodes, I was too busy watching Optimus Prime and Megatron fight Skywarp and Nova Storm, or the final battle against Mandroid. I was too busy looking at cool shit like that than being, oh my god, they said, told them they, them. Like, nobody fucking cares except you and your fucking, either child or bigoted grown people in your fucking community are the only people that care.
Think the only community I see people talking about this are the superiority, like here on Georgia Superior. And it's kind of sad. I mean, we need more base people here. Come on.
More right-wing bigots that have watched one too many PragerU of Ben Shapiro videos that think they can disprove all the sociology, all the fucking medical research on gender dysphoria, intersex people, and non-binary individuals, and just become based and ignore reality on conjecture. Because you feel non-binary people don't exist, they don't exist.
I know why so many people are not speaking about this, and they are obviously scared of getting canceled.
No, they're not. No, they're not scared of getting canceled. They're just not bigoted like you are. They don't fucking care. They care about the quality of the story. They care about the character designs. They care about other shit instead of the show's politics. Or maybe, politically, a lot of Transformers fans, like myself, don't like motherfuckers like you that try to get mad every time a piece of media doesn't reinforce your fucking worldview. Whether it's the MCU, whether it's fucking Transformers or Star Trek or Star Wars, anytime it's a fucking character that's black, it's a character that's gay, it's a character that's about, a story about a fucking woman. People like you gotta always get in their fucking feelings, and it gets on my nerves. Not only it gets on my nerves because people like you bitch and complain about it, it also gets on my nerves because when you start talking to young people, you're talking to your 10-year-old brother, and you're talking to kids that are like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. A lot of these people grow up to be bigoted as fuck, or even wind up being outright white supremacists because people like you, people like fucking Nerdrotic, people like fucking The Quartering and Geeks and Gamers, all you motherfuckers, y'all start kids at an early age that are disaffected with society, probably experience some bullying and shit like that, and you sell them conservatism or fascism as their way out or feeling a part of a fucking community, instead of telling them how to self-improve, instead of telling them the fucking truth about race or about gender or about the LGBT community. You lie and use conjecture, your own opinions, the shit that you feel, instead of telling people the truth. And that's what my problem really is. And that's why a lot of people didn't fucking care. It's because some people, even the most liberal, intermediate motherfucker, has better politics than people like you. People like you really make me sick. Because there's so many fucking kids out there that are looking for fucking role models and looking to the answers to the problems in society. And instead of telling them the truth or things that can really help them, you sell them this shit. And that's why a lot of people don't like you. It's not because you're telling some base truth or because you're telling some hidden secret. It's because you ain't shit.
That I think about it, at least I gotta be thankful that it's not like a huge legacy character that turned out to be non-binary, because who knows, it could have been a scene where Arcee's like, oh, I use pronouns they, them instead of she, her, because that's how I...
And it still would not have fucking mattered. It wouldn't have fucking mattered. I would not have cared if Arcee was non-binary. In fact, in the fucking comic books, Arcee is fucking trans. I don't fucking care. Nobody cares except you. You're the only motherfuckers. You and the fucking bigots in your community, or maybe some people are just misinformed, are the only people that care. Nobody else cares.
Fail. But that's for now. Because you know that like in 5 years from now, Optimus Prime is going to be a female who's
because
trans.
That's how it fucking works. They're gonna change the gender of one of their well-known legacy fucking characters. See, I'm gonna tell you exactly why this motherfucker is wrong. Because if you look at Clobber from Cyberverse, she looks like, hold up, I'll show you. This would be better. So, I will just show you. Let me see, scroll down. She became an Autobot later. Does that make her trans? Yep, Cyberverse female. Yeah, this is what I was going to tell you. Is that this character, Clobber, who's a female Decepticon and later Autobot from Cyberverse, is based on a character from Animated called Lugnut. Lugnut was a male Decepticon from Transformers Animated. But they would not, and they wanted to make him female, but since he's kind of a legacy character now, they gender swapped him to be a different name. They gender swapped him still, used his design for the most part, but gave him a different name. The Hasbro is completely aware of who their legacy characters are, and they will never let because think about it, Lugnut is fucking nobody. He only appeared in like one cartoon, no, two. If you count Lugnuts from Cybertron, and you count this Lugnut from Animated, he's only appeared 2 other times. And it's been, what, almost 40 years or more? Do you really think they're going to let their most important main fucking character all of a sudden become female one fucking day? They won't do anything that fucking stupid. If they won't let this character become female and he's a fucking nobody, they're not going to let Optimus Prime become fucking female. It's not gonna happen. This is conjecture based on nothing, and the things, and what makes it even worse is that the behavior, as you can see, of Hasbro completely fucking disproves this. So, again, conjecture.
Gender, that means now he's a man, but he uses they them pronouns. Like, you know what's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And it's sad, like it's actually sad, that Hasbro has finally fallen into the hands of the woke.
You mean they're including other people besides straight white people? And that's what the fucking problem be with these people. Is that any time that the character focus is not on a quote-unquote straight white man, these people be like, so, there's no reason for this character to be black, for this character to be gay, for this to be about a woman. Y'all start losing y'all fucking minds every fucking time in media when these shows or movies are about somebody different than the general fucking binary. Not to mention, in most Transformers history, besides some of those IDW comic books, we have never seen anything like real. And then not to mention the fact Transformers was always political from the fucking get-go. Like, I can tell you right now that animated Sentinel Prime was a Republican, by the way. I'm just putting it out there. But anyway, my point being is that Transformers was always political. It always had a political message, depending on how you interpreted that continuity or that show or what was going on at the time. And politics in Transformers is not new. Transformers was always quote-unquote woke. And just because you're late to the party of understanding, you know, what, you know, these messages, because it had to be so overt and direct for you to get it, doesn't mean everybody else is stuck in ignorance like you.
But of course, there are some people...
Mob! You're the fucking mob. You're the people bitching every... Man, I'm not going to repeat myself. No, I'm going to repeat it. Mob, you're the people that are bitching every time. Anytime, any type of show or movie has a character that's not a straight white man, it's people like you bitching about it. And then people like me got to go over shitty ass videos like this to try to make people know, to flesh out your fucking lies or your conjecture. Like, you people make me sick, man. Because like I said, it's a lot of young men out there that are looking for answers, looking for somebody to get their worldview from. And before they find people like me, they're 9 times out of 10 gonna find a piece of shit like you.
Care, who don't judge me in my opinion, and they're just saying, oh,
I'm calling you stupid. Around here, you called us stupid. You said that we were making shit up. So I get to call you stupid. I get to call you all type of fucking mean names and shit like that at this point. You call the, you know, those fucking LGBT people or the LGBT transformers and IDF, you call them, you know, quote unquote homos. So I get to call you out your fucking name too.
I won't.
Like, you people call everybody else snowflakes, but when it's your turn to get criticized, everybody else is a snowflake for criticizing. Like, nobody's ever supposed to call out your bigotry.
Nightshade to be a ninja type character, but no, he's, you have to call him he. I'm not calling a fictional character they, like, I'm Zoro, but yeah, they said like, yeah, it's better if he was a ninja type and not a Shakespearean type. Bro, what Shakespearean do you see in this motherfucker? He's just gay. Oh, also now,
And that bothers you? Why? Why does all this even bother you?
another point. He was like just born 5 minutes ago, and now
I'm not gonna even do this shit with you, bro.
how
I'll let
he
you finish the
doesn't
sentence.
accept the pronouns he, him, or she, her.
Whoa, an advanced alien life form that was born about 5 minutes ago that can already talk, walk, use weaponry, and understands the world around him, understand concepts like love, understands concepts like, you know, fighting and combat and danger and happiness and laughter, just all of a sudden understands that the gender binary in a certain way. I just don't understand what's going on.
Like, bro, you're born 5 minutes ago. You don't know your history of your race, your whole entire existence.
What are you saying by that?
You don't know on which planet you are. You don't know what mission you
They
are.
did know. Apparently they were told every fucking thing to first fucking begin with. Not to mention, like I said, these are advanced robots that, you know, he knew, or they knew. You got me doing it. They knew about the world around them. They had time to learn about the world around them. They already knew a lot about the world around them. So they were able to pick out, hey, I don't want to be a male or a female. I would prefer to be in the middle. They knew already. So, like, like I said, he's arguing from, like, conjecture again about a fictional fucking character.
On, but you're like, oh, I prefer they, them. Bro, come on. I guess some people can argue in the comments, oh, they are Terrans, so they are adopting the human culture. But like, bro, the humans on the earth, like, just passed 8 billion, like yesterday. Less than 1% are non-binary they, them. So I don't know what culture
So
you're
why are
talking
you
about.
so offended about these people existing?
I got a comment yesterday like, oh, probably like half the people on your channel are like this. Like, they dance people? They dance are in this channel.
They exist. They are real people that are non-binary. But they probably unsubscribed after hearing your dumbass opinion. You see, I was never subscribed to this guy anyway, because he always came off as really sketchy to me. But the thing about it is that, yes, these people exist. Like the shit you said about, oh, every bad character is white. Why is the show about colored people? That offended me. And I would never subscribe to your ass because you're probably a little bit racist. And now that we know that you're transphobic, you're bigoted against LGBT people, they unsubscribe from you. These people are real people. They exist. Like, I don't know what the fuck to tell you on top of that. Like, they exist, man.
They're subscribed. Bro, like, please unsubscribe, bro. I just checked what happened after I uploaded the Earthspark review where I talked about the non-binary thing. 5 people unsubscribed. Let's go, we are getting the non-brain people. Okay, so, I gotta end this video here, and I think all my thoughts and arguments are already there in this video.
Really stupid.
So you can hate me as much as you want, you can unsubscribe from me as much as you want. I won't change the video, the thumbnail, the title. I won't disable the comments, I won't delete the video, I won't delete my channel. hate me however you want.
It's just because this is a grift video to get views and comments off, bigotry and conjecture. Like, so many anti-SJW people do that on purpose, because that's the unfortunate part about YouTube's engagement, is that if you watch this video, unfortunately, like I did, if you comment on his videos, they view that as activity. If you dislike the video, they view it as activity. So, especially since they removed the like-dislike ratio, you cannot really tell these people that they're full of shit and they should take down the video. I think the best way to do it is like what I'm doing now, like in the video response format. But it's hard to get across how stupid this guy is, because the more you comment, he's not going to read the comments, and you're going to be telling him like the facts about, the gender binary and how it works, but he doesn't care because he's just being bigoted to get attention.
But I don't care.
Can
These are
also
my
actually be bigoted too.
thoughts. I'm basic as fuck. So yeah. Goodbye everyone. Take care.
Okay, we done here. Don't listen to this stupid motherfucker.
Hey guys, the Fire Brothers here. It's just me. My brother couldn't be here today because
But yeah, all in fucking all,
he got trapped in the back room.
don't listen to that motherfucker. Because the thing about this guy is that, number one, I'll explain it to you as like the short version of this and stuff like that. I'll go with the short version. Is that number one, non-binary people are real people that exist in society in various age demographic. Non-binary means that you don't identify as a male or female, and it can be caused by gender dysphoria, just like other trans people. When these people are not allowed to live their lives the way that they identify, it can lead to them committing suicide. They are only, like he said, at least in America, 0.8% of the population. These people are not going into companies and taking over any fucking thing. And I don't know, Hasbro probably just did it because, number one, corporations do that shit because people like him are going to hate watch it. And then number two, a lot of people, they do it because there are real non-binary younger kids out there who need role models and people to look up to. So, like, all in fucking all, like, this guy, just be disregarded. Like, his opinions don't fucking matter. Like, he argued completely from conjecture. He argued like the dumbass, why don't we call it and shit like that. Like, he's going completely off conjecture. And, if you take anything from my video response footage, just don't fall into his bigoted logic. Rise above that shit. This is James. Have a good one.